Welcome to your deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at AI, like the real impact of AI in business. We've got this report from Economist Impact, and it's not your average survey, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
They talked to over 1,100 executives and AI practitioners, the people actually doing the work. Plus, they did really in-depth interviews with like 28 CIOs from all sorts of industries.
Oh, wow.
We're talking finance, healthcare, even the U.S. Army. So get ready to like really level up your understanding of like what AI doing right now, not just, the future stuff.
I think what's really exciting for me is, this isn't just about the technology itself.
Right.
This report really gets into like how AI is changing from being, a tech thing to a core part of business strategy, no matter like the size of the company.
Yeah.
And we see both sides, right? The view from leadership and the view from the teams who are actually making it all work.
Okay, so imagine like you're prepping for this big strategy meeting, right? Everyone's buzzing about AI, but you got to go deeper than the hype. So this report, they're calling it AI's like unlock moment. But what does that even mean?
So it's about like actually seeing proof that AI is valuable across a ton of different fields. The report's got these examples like Novartis. They're using machine learning to make drug discovery faster. Flow Health, they're doing personalized insights for women's health. Even Unilever, they're making smarter choices about their products.
We've been hearing about AI's potential forever. Is this like actually different this time, or are companies just, better at telling the story now?
Oh, no, there's a real shift happening here.
Okay.
Executives and the practitioners, they agree that AI, especially this new generative AI, is key EY to reaching those long-term goals. But, and this is the catch, they feel like most companies aren't putting their money where their mouth is.
So they're saying AI is mission critical, but their budgets don't reflect that. That's pretty interesting. Why do you think that is?
I think part of it is that AI has become a lot more accessible now. Like, think about generative AI.
Yeah.
Anyone can use these tools now, not just, your data science wizards. And that's great. It's democratizing access, but it also makes it way harder to track the return on investment because it's happening everywhere, not just in like these isolated projects.
Right. Like if your marketing team's using AI to write, real compelling copy, that's a productivity boost, but it's not like as splashy as, a self-driving car, right?
Exactly. But those smaller wins, they add up quickly. Flow Health, they reported a 24% boost in their data engineering efficiency just from using these tools. And Repsol, they're an energy company, saw their coders become, on average, 7% more productive.
Whoa, those are some serious numbers. You've mentioned generative AI a couple of times now. Do you think that's the biggest factor in this whole, like, unlock moment thing?
It's definitely a major player, but it's also about how it works with, the existing AI systems. It's less about replacing humans and more about, like, turbocharging our efficiency. It's like giving everyone this super-powered assistant.
Okay, but there's got to be a flip side to this, right? Like, what about AI doing stuff we don't want it to do?
That's where things get really interesting. The report talks about this thing called agentic AI.
Agentic AI, huh?
Yeah, it's AI that can basically act on its own. Imagine like an AI travel agent that like just books your trips perfectly based on what you like. Powerful stuff, right?
Super powerful, but also kind of scary. What if it books you a flight to like Antarctica when you wanted Aruba?
Exactly. And companies are very, very aware of those risks, especially when it comes to like customer-facing applications. Misinformation, unpredictable outputs, those can wreck a brand's reputation. So for now, a lot of companies are being cautious. They're taking this test bed approach.
So like dipping their toes in the AI rule before doing a cannonball.
Exactly. JetBlue is a great example. They're using AI to make these digital twins of their operations.
Digital twins.
Yeah, it's like a flight simulator, but for their entire business.
Oh, wow.
They can test out different scenarios and like get more efficient without risking, real world disruptions.
That's really smart.
And MasterCard, they're using generative AI to combat card fraud. They're looking at like trillions of data points to see if a transaction is legit or not.
Wild.
The key takeaway here is whether it's preventing fraud or, making flights run on time, the most successful companies are starting small, focusing on very specific problems and building from there. Prove the value first before going all in.
Okay, so we've seen AI can unlock some serious potential, but at what cost? Let's talk about, the rewards and the risks of investing in AI. We all know it ain't cheap. Goldman Sachs even put out a note saying that AI spending could actually be higher than the revenue it brings in, at least in the short term. But is that the whole picture?
Well, that's where the long-term vision comes in. AI isn't some quick fix. It's about building a foundation for future success.
Right.
The report talks about this shift from needing to convince people about AI's return on investment to actually showing them the results.
hmm
And sometimes those returns aren't, like, just about profits.
So it's more than just, did we make more money this quarter because of AI?
Exactly. Companies are using AI to achieve these strategic goals that are, like, tougher to measure, but ultimately they make the business stronger. Take General Motors, for example. They're not just using AI to build cars faster. They're using it to create entirely new business models around, like, electric and self-driving vehicles. That's about being ready for the future, not just, making a quick buck.
That makes sense. And it sounds like this is happening in lots of different industries. What other examples were interesting to you?
Well, Mahindra Group, they're this huge conglomerate in India. They're using AI to improve the customer experience. They're building AI tools to help with stuff like, car servicing, making things easier for their customers, and building brand loyalty. It's like playing the long game.
That's smart.
Even Condé Nast, the media company, they're using AI to personalize their content recommendations, making the reading experience better. And, well, it's easy to see how that could lead to, people spending more time reading and eventually more ad revenue.
Yeah, for sure.
And while making money might not have been the main reason for those first investments in AI, it is becoming more important as companies figure out, how to actually turn these new capabilities into cash.
So it's not just about can AI help us sell more widgets today. It's an AI help us build a business that's going to be killing it in the future. But how do companies actually make that happen? What's the secret ingredient here?
Well, the magic ingredient is data intelligence. This report really emphasizes how companies are using AI to, like, squeeze insights out of their data and then using those insights to make better decisions, create new products, even come up with totally new business models.
Like Rivian, the electric car company, I read they're using data to personalize, like, the driving experience. It's not just about the car itself. It's about creating this whole, like, data-driven world around it.
Exactly. And even the public sector is getting in on the action.
Oh, really?
McKinsey did some research, and they estimate that, like, globally, we could unlock over $3 trillion in economic value by using open data more effectively.
Whoa, that's a huge number. Imagine what governments could do with that kind of economic boost. We could see big improvements in, everything from transportation to healthcare.
Absolutely. The takeaway is that AI's potential is massive, but actually realizing it takes, patience and a clear strategy. The report uses Novartis as an example. They're using AI to speed up drug discovery, but they're also realistic about how long it actually takes to, bring a new drug to market. It's not some overnight success story.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're still in the early days of AI, and the technology's changing super fast. Now, this brings us to something really important, the infrastructure problem. The report has this great analogy. They say a lot of companies' data infrastructure is like Victorian-era plumbing.
Oof, that's not a good look.
Only 22% of these companies feel confident their systems can actually handle what AI needs. That's kind of alarming, isn't it?
Yeah, it really highlights this need for a fundamental change in how we think about data. AI needs a modern data architecture, something that can handle, like, the crazy amount of data we're creating, the different types of data, and how quickly it's all coming in.
Okay, so bad plumbing, but what does that actually mean, like, on the ground? What specific problems are companies running into?
Well, data silos are a huge issue. Information gets stuck in different departments, so it's almost impossible to get a complete view of the business. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with, like, half the pieces missing.
Makes sense.
And then there's the problem of latency. Those delays in, like, processing data are a deal breaker for AI applications that need insights in real time.
Yeah, bet.
The report highlights Mahindra's solar panel maintenance system as a good example of real-time data in action.
Okay.
They use AI to analyze the performance data and then send maintenance crews to, like, the exact panels that need fixing. That kind of efficiency just isn't possible with slow, outdated systems.
It's like having a doctor for your solar farm, constantly monitoring and, like, making adjustments. That's brilliant. So speed is key, but how are companies actually upgrading their data infrastructure?
Well, the cloud is playing a huge role. We're seeing this massive move toward cloud services to support all these AI workloads, both, public and private cloud solutions. Lots of companies are even doing this multi-cloud thing.
So they've got options, they're flexible, but it's not just about, like, dumping data into the cloud and hoping for the best, right?
Oh, definitely not. Data accuracy, security, and control are non-negotiable. Bad data or weak security can totally sabotage your AI efforts. It's like putting bad fuel in a race car. It might run for a bit, but it'll cause some serious problems eventually.
And this isn't just a one-time setup, right? Maintaining these systems is like a constant thing.
The report talks about this need to constantly check your data sets, update external data sources, and make sure those models are performing well. Think of it like, owning a high-performance car. It needs regular tune-ups to stay in top shape.
So it's not set it and forget it. It's about being vigilant and constantly optimizing. But even with the perfect technology and infrastructure, there's still a crucial human element, right?
Absolutely. Building a data-driven organization isn't just about, buying fancy tech. It's about creating a culture where everyone understands data and knows how to use it. It's about investing in training and making sure everyone's thinking data first from the top down.
So it's not just about the tools, it's about the people using them. And this whole Victorian-era plumbing thing, it applies to company culture too, doesn't it? If the data can't flow freely, the organization can't innovate effectively.
Exactly. This report makes it clear the companies that will thrive in the AI age are the ones who combine powerful AI with their own unique data, their expertise, and their human ingenuity. It's finding that sweet spot where technology and people work together seamlessly.
And that leads us perfectly to our next topic, finding your edge. As AI becomes, more common, what really makes a company stand out? It's not enough to just buy some off-the-shelf AI solution, is it?
Not at all. The report emphasizes that the real value is in blending those foundational models with a company's own data and expertise. It's about making a custom-fit AI solution that's perfect for their unique challenges.
I love that. So it's like a chef using, top quality ingredients, but adding their own secret spice blend to create something truly unique.
Exactly. The report even mentions this idea of a compound AI system where companies are combining different models and data sources. It's about tailoring AI to the specific needs of the business, not trying to force a one-size-fits-all solution.
So understanding your data is just as important as picking the right AI model. But when it comes to choosing, there's a whole world of open source and closed source models out there. How do companies even start to, navigate that?
Most organizations are actually using kind of a hybrid approach, mixing and matching open and closed source models based on what they need. The report found that open source models give you more transparency and control. You can literally see the code and change it to fit your needs. It's like building your own car from scratch.
But building a car from scratch requires a lot of expertise. What about companies that don't have, a team of AI engineers?
That's where closed source models often come in. They're generally easier to use and often perform better, but you're trusting the vendor to give you a model that meets your needs. It's like buying a car off the lot. It's convenient, but you have less control over how it works.
So it's a trade-off, control versus convenience. But how do companies decide which way to go?
It really depends. The company's risk tolerance, the expertise they have in-house, and the problem they're trying to solve all play a role. The report highlights this switchboard framework from Accenture as a helpful tool for decision-making. It helps companies compare models based on things like accuracy, cost, and even ethical factors.
So it's like a guide to help you navigate this crazy world of AI models. But ultimately, it sounds like experimentation is key.
Yeah, companies need to be willing to test out different models, see what works best for their situation, and adjust their approach as needed.
The report had some really cool examples of companies winning by leveraging their own data. Dream Sports, the fantasy sports company from India, they realized that using, these off-the-shelf language models just wasn't working.
Interesting.
Their language was too specific to fantasy sports, so they trained their own models using their own data, and it made a huge difference in performance.
That's a smart move.
And Rakuten, the Japanese technology, they're using their massive amounts of transaction data to train their deep learning models, which gives them more accurate and efficient recommendations.
Yeah.
Like they're saying, forget generic, let's get super specific. By using their own data, they're creating AI that really understands their business and their customers. And this brings up a super important point, data ownership and control. Companies need to be strategic about where they keep their data and who they share it with. The report uses JetBlue as an example again. They're very careful about letting their data out of their site. They want to protect sensitive information and stay in control of their valuable data assets. It's like they're guarding their data crown jewels. And it makes sense. Data is what powers AI, so protecting it is crucial. Now, let's talk about another big part of successfully using AI, guardrails and governance. It's not enough to just have the technology right. You need the right structures and processes to make sure AI is being used ethically and responsible.
Absolutely. And as AI gets more powerful and it's used in more places, the need for strong governance just keeps growing.
Yeah, exactly. The report highlighted these growing concerns about data security, privacy breaches, and staying compliant with all the new regulations popping up around AI.
Yeah, it's a complicated landscape that's changing all the time. The report mentioned the huge increase in AI legislation worldwide. In the U.S. alone, there have been over 762 AI-related legislative documents across 45 states.
Wow, that's a lot to keep track of. How are companies supposed to navigate this constantly changing regulatory world?
Well, the first step is to establish clear AI governance frameworks. The report uses Fanatics betting and gaming as a great example of how to do this well.
What's their approach? What can other companies learn from them?
They take a three-pronged approach.
Okay.
First, they set clear boundaries for what AI can and can't do within the organization, especially when it comes to protecting sensitive information. Second, they actually have ways to enforce those boundaries. It's not just a policy document that's ignored. And third, they have a dedicated data governance team that audits their AI systems and makes sure everything is transparent, it's comprehensive, and they're not just waiting for problems to happen.
That's smart. It's not just about saying you're doing the right thing. It's about actually putting the processes and structures in place to make it happen.
The report also discussed how data innovations like synthetic data and RAG can help improve AI governance and reduce risks like bias in the results.
Okay, can you remind me what those are and how they fit into this governance thing?
Sure. Synthetic data is basically fake data that's designed to look like real data without containing any actual personal information.
Ah, okay.
It's really useful for training AI models when you don't have a lot of real data or if the data is very sensitive. RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation, lets language models access external information, like an encyclopedia or a company's internal knowledge base, to make their responses more accurate and relevant.
So synthetic data helps with data limitations, and RAG makes sure those AI models are using the most up-to-date and accurate information.
Exactly. And the report pointed to AI Centers of Excellence, or COEs, as another way to provide oversight for AI projects. These COEs are like central hubs for expertise, best practices, and governance. It's like having an air traffic control tower for AI in your company.
So they're making sure that AI projects are aligned with business goals, comply with all those regulations, and are implemented ethically and responsibly.
Exactly. And that brings us back to that balance between human expertise and what AI can do. It's not about replacing humans with machines, but rather enhancing our intelligence and working together with AI.
The report highlighted Unilever, Seven West Media, and Rivian as examples of companies that are really investing in upskilling their employees and creating self-service AI tools. It's about making data and AI accessible so everyone can benefit.
Yeah, it's about empowering employees, building a data-driven culture, and recognizing that AI is a tool that can help everyone in the organization work smarter.
And that leads to another really important point that's highlighted throughout this report, the importance of human judgment and critical thinking when it comes to overseeing AI's outputs. Even the most advanced AI can make mistakes or produce biased results, right?
Absolutely. Humans need to be involved to check AI's work, identify potential problems, and ensure that AI is being used ethically and responsibly.
It's like having a safety net for AI, making sure it's used for good and doesn't go off the rails.
Precisely. And the report makes it very clear, human judgment and critical thinking will always be essential, even in the age of AI.
So we've covered a lot of ground already, from the unlock moment to the challenges of infrastructure, governance, and the human element. It's clear that AI is changing businesses in some really big ways. What are your main takeaways so far?
For me, it's about recognizing that AI is more than just a tech trend. It's a fundamental shift in how we work, how we live, and how we interact with the world around us. And this report shows that the companies that are winning with AI are embracing it strategically and responsibly, recognizing both its potential and its limitations.
It's not just about jumping on the AI bandwagon. It's about understanding how to use AI effectively to achieve your goals and create a better future for your business and the world.
You know, one thing that really jumped out at me from this report is this whole idea of human-centered AI. It's not just about, building the most powerful algorithms.
Right.
It's about making AI work together with human intelligence, not against it.
So AI is a partner, not a replacement.
Exactly. And that means companies and individuals need to, shift their mindset.
Yeah.
We need to be thinking about how we can work alongside AI, how to leverage its strengths while, being aware of its limitations.
The report talked about upskilling employees and building a data-driven culture.
And that starts at the top. Leaders need to set the tone, encourage people to experiment, and create an environment where it's safe to learn and, maybe even fail sometimes.
So it's about creating a company that's constantly adapting, evolving along with the technology.
Right. And recognizing that AI is just a tool. It's powerful, but it's not going to replace human judgment, creativity, or empathy.
The report had some great examples of companies that are doing this AI-human partnership thing really well.
Yeah, like Condé Nast, they're using AI to automate some of the boring, repetitive tasks in content creation, which frees up their writers and editors to focus on, the creative work.
Mm.
It's not about robots replacing journalists. It's about giving them tools to be more effective and do their best work.
And I read that Frontier, the telecom company, is using AI to help their customer service agents solve problems faster.
Yeah, that's a great example. The AI isn't replacing those agents. It's more like a super-powered assistant, giving them the information they need to provide better service.
So these are examples of how AI can actually make work better, not just, eliminate jobs altogether.
Exactly. And it's not just about making things easier. It's about opening up new possibilities for growth and innovation.
Right.
The report highlights how AI is actually creating entirely new career paths. The demand for data scientists, AI engineers, machine learning specialists, it's exploding. And people with these AI skills are seeing their salaries go way up.
Sounds like AI is creating a whole new wave of economic opportunity, kind of like the internet did back in the day.
Yeah, and it's important to remember this isn't just for, tech geniuses. AI is becoming accessible to everyone. We need people with different skills and backgrounds to help shape the future of AI.
The report was really big on diversity and inclusion in AI.
For good reason. AI systems are often trained on data that reflects existing biases, right? So we need diverse teams building and deploying these systems to make sure those biases aren't amplified.
So it's about making sure AI is fair and works for everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly, and that means a real commitment to diversity, from the boardroom to the engineering team.
So the report paints a pretty optimistic picture, but it also acknowledges that there are potential downsides to all of this.
Of course. And we need to be aware of those risks and approach AI carefully. It's a powerful tool, and like any tool, it can be misused.
The report talked about responsible AI, using it ethically, transparently, and with accountability.
That's key. It means constantly monitoring, evaluating, and improving. We need to keep asking ourselves, are we using AI to benefit society? Are we mitigating the risks? Are we making sure everyone has a say in shaping its future?
It's like we're all writing the next chapter of the AI story, and we need to make sure it's one we're proud of.
Well said. Now, let's talk about competition in this new AI era.
Okay?
The report suggests that AI is becoming a major competitive advantage. The companies that are embracing and integrating AI are pulling ahead of those that are, dragging their feet.
Makes sense. It's the new battleground for business success.
And that's creating this fierce competition for talent. Companies are offering big salaries and all kinds of perks to attract the top AI experts.
It's like the dot-com boom all over again, but this time it's AI.
Yeah, but it's not just about hiring the right people. It's about creating the right culture and infrastructure to support AI innovation.
The report called it becoming a data-driven organization, embedding data into every aspect of the business.
Right, and that's a huge shift. It's not just about having data. It's about actually using it to make decisions, improve processes, and create new products and services.
The report stressed having a clear AI strategy, one that's aligned with the company's overall business strategy. No more just playing around. You need a plan.
And that plan needs to be flexible. The AI landscape is changing so rapidly. Companies need to be agile and adaptable to keep up.
The report also talked about the importance of partnerships in the AI era.
Yeah, AI is complex, and no single company can do it all on their own. Companies are realizing that they need to work with others, startups, universities, even competitors, to get access to the latest technology and expertise.
Like the old saying, two heads are better than one.
Exactly. These partnerships can be anything from, joint research projects to strategic investments.
But it's about finding the right partners, the ones that share your values and your vision for AI.
It's about building a whole ecosystem of innovation where everyone benefits from the collective knowledge and expertise.
And we can't forget that AI is global. Advancements are happening everywhere. Companies need to have a global perspective to stay competitive.
Absolutely. The report highlighted the growing influence of countries like China and India in AI.
So companies need to be thinking about competing on a global stage, not just in their own backyard.
And they need to consider the ethical and societal implications of AI on a global scale. AI is shaping our world, and we need to be mindful of the consequences, both good and bad.
Wow, it's a lot to take in, but it's also incredibly exciting. We're living through a period of massive technological change, and AI is at the forefront. It's a time of huge opportunity, but also great responsibility.
I couldn't agree more. Now let's shift gears and talk about the future of work in the AI era.
Okay, this is something a lot of people are worried about. Will AI take our jobs?
It's a legitimate concern. AI is automating tasks that humans used to do, and that trend is going to continue.
But the report also said that AI will create new jobs and opportunities.
That's also true. But those new jobs are going to require different skills. The workforce of the future needs to be adaptable, creative, and comfortable with technology.
It's about lifelong learning and constantly upskilling to stay ahead of the curve.
The report emphasized STEM education as a foundation for success in the AI era.
Right. But it's not just about technical skills. Soft skills like communication, collaboration, and critical thinking are even more important now.
Yes, because those are the skills that AI can't replicate.
The report called for a human-centered approach to AI, designing systems that complement and enhance human capabilities.
It's about using AI to make our lives better, not to replace us.
The report predicted that AI will lead to a more collaborative and flexible work environment.
We're already seeing that with remote work, flexible hours, and project-based teams. AI is going to accelerate those trends.
It's a big change from the traditional 9-to-5 office job. Companies are going to have to adapt their structures and management styles.
The report highlighted the importance of building a culture of trust and empowerment where employees feel valued and supported.
It's about creating a workplace where people are excited about the future of work, not afraid of it.
And recognizing that the future of work isn't just about technology, it's about people. It's about creating a world where everyone has the chance to thrive in the AI era.
This report has given us a lot to think about. It feels like it all comes down to one question. What does it really mean to be a successful, thriving business in this new AI age?
It's a great question, and it's one that leaders everywhere are grappling with right now. But this report offers some really compelling clues.
Okay, I'm all ears.
First, it's clear that just adopting AI isn't enough. It's about becoming truly data-driven, weaving data into the very fabric of your organization. That means having the right infrastructure, a culture that values data, and the ability to turn insights into action.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about transformation.
Exactly. Second, the companies that will win in this new world will be masters of combination. They'll blend those pre-trained AI models with their own unique data, creating solutions that are perfectly tailored to their challenges. Think of it like a chef using top-quality ingredients but adding their own secret spice blend.
Okay, I love that analogy. So data is the new competitive spice rack.
You got it. And third, successful businesses will embrace continuous learning. The AI field is moving so fast. Companies need to foster a culture of experimentation, be willing to try new things, and constantly update their skills and knowledge.
So being agile, adaptable, and maybe a little obsessed with staying ahead of the curve.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You know, one thing that really resonated with me from this report was the focus on ethics. It's not enough to just build powerful AI systems. We have to make sure they're being used responsibly.
That's such a critical point. This isn't just a tech revolution, it's a societal one. We have to think about AI's impact on jobs, privacy, fairness, even democracy itself.
And the report talked about the need for strong governance, transparency, and accountability. It's like we need to build guardrails for AI before things go off the rails.
Absolutely. And that responsibility doesn't just lie with companies. It's on governments, researchers, and individuals, too. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI and making sure it's used for good.
This report has given us so much to think about. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are trying to figure out this whole AI landscape?
Here's what I'd say. Don't be intimidated by AI. It's a powerful tool, but ultimately it's up to humans to decide how it's used. Embrace the possibilities, stay informed, ask tough questions, and never stop learning.
That's great advice. And remember, this isn't just about business, it's about our future. Let's make it a future worth building. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
It really feels like, after all this, it comes down to one question. What does it really mean to be a successful business in this AI age? What does thriving look like?
Yeah, it's the question everyone's asking, right? And this report, I think it gives us some pretty solid clues.
I think so too. First, it's clear that just, adopting AI isn't enough. It's got to be deeper than that. You have to become truly data-driven, like weave data into the DNA of your organization.
Right, it's got to be more fundamental than just buying a tool.
Exactly. That means having the right infrastructure, a culture where data is valued, and, crucially, the ability to actually use those insights to make changes, make decisions. So
it's not just about the tech itself, it's a full-blown transformation.
Exactly. The second thing is the companies that are going to win, they'll be the ones who master this art of combination. They'll take these, pre-trained AI models, but they'll blend them with their own WM data, creating solutions that are perfect for their specific problems. It's like, think of a chef. They've got these amazing ingredients, but they add their own special spice blend to make it unique.
Okay, I'm really digging these food analogies. So data is like the new competitive spice rack.
You got it. And the third thing, successful businesses, they're going to embrace this idea of continuous learning. AI is moving so fast, you can't just stand still.
Right, you snooze, you lose.
Companies have to encourage experimentation, be willing to try new things, and constantly be updating their skills and knowledge.
So it's about being agile, adaptable, and maybe a little obsessed with staying ahead of everyone else.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You know, one of the things that really struck me about this report was the focus on ethics. It's not enough to just build these powerful systems, right? We have to make sure they're used responsibly.
That's so important. This isn't just a change in technology, it's a change in society. We have to think about how AI impacts things like jobs, privacy, fairness even, like democracy itself.
And the report, they talked about the need for strong governance, transparency, being able to hold these systems accountable. It's like we need guardrails for AI, before things go completely off track.
Totally agree. And that responsibility, it doesn't just fall on businesses, it's on governments, researchers, even individuals. We all have a part to play in shaping what AI becomes and making sure it's used for good.
So much food for thought in this report, seriously. What's your final piece of advice for our listeners who are, trying to figure out this whole AI world?
Here's what I'd say. Don't let AI intimidate you. It's a powerful tool, but ultimately it's up to us, humans, to decide how it's used. Be open to the possibilities, stay informed, ask the hard questions, and never stop learning.
That's great advice. And, this isn't just about business. This is about the future, our future. Let's make it one worth building. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.